Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Wealth Channel. This is Brother Rick Williams, your gracious wealth coach. And this afternoon, we have another beautiful subject that we're going to break down like a fraction. And this subject is let's get rich and let's go the opposite of the crowd. One thing that my mother taught me, my beautiful mother, Mary Battle, who is the author, who my book is dedicated to. Why don't I ever have a book in here whenever I'm talking to you all? I got everybody's book but my own. Hold on a second, because my beautiful mother, who I dedicated my book to. So my beautiful mother, who I dedicated my book to, Mary, she's the one I dedicated my book to. So my book is Control Everything, Own Nothing, Secrets on How to Wealthy Legally Avoid Taxes and Legally Avoid Lawsuits. And you can get it at www.controlebook.com. I want to talk to you this afternoon about this whole idea, and that's the idea of being different from the crowd, just doing exact opposite of whatever the crowd is doing. And I just want to get right into our lesson because I'm going to teach you the lesson of a gentleman who walked into the office of Blockbuster in 2000, and he told Blockbuster, he said, listen, I just want to be your online presence. All right. And Blockbuster said, okay, we listening. He said, listen, I believe everybody's going to be making a subscription. I believe that they're going to be doing things exactly the opposite of the way they're doing things now. Now people are walking into a store and they're getting DVDs and they're taking them home and then they're bringing them back. So what's going on, Brother Harmon? I'm doing great. So he said, this is what I want you to do. He said, I want you just to consider the fact that people would rather sit in the house and get a subscription and watch the movies via software on their television sets. So Blockbuster didn't like that. Blockbuster said, hey, hold on, man. They say one of the things we make our money off of is the fact that we make $100 million a year on late fees. People are late, and we make $100 million a year for people being late. You trying to wipe out that extra $100 million? See, they was used to doing things a certain kind of way. They had no flexibility. I'm going to teach you why the second company came in and just took over, but they didn't have any flexibility. So they threw them out. They're like, we don't want to be bothered with you. So 5 years went by and they started realizing, you know what? That company is starting to come up. That company is called Netflix. But Netflix didn't want it. They just wanted to partner with Blockbuster. See, you guys better recognize when somebody comes to you, sharper than you, quicker than you, who knows how to do things the opposite from where everybody else is, you better recognize that and be like, you know what? I better get with that person that goes against the grain because they're going to make money. You know, I'm not making money the way I'm doing. I'm doing what everybody else is doing. So I'm with the crowd. So I have like no real value because I'm not distinct from anybody else. I'm not unique. I don't stand out. I don't have a niche. So when you get around people who think outside the box, that's who you better roll with. So they threw Brother Hastings out, threw him out on his head, and told him, man, nobody won't be bothered with you. You're trying to blow our money. See, because that's the way a pimp think. See, they was making $100 million a year off of late fees. That ain't nothing but pimping people, right? So that's a bad premise for a business. That's a bad business plan where you're making money off another person's demise, where you're making money off another person's mistakes. That's a bad business plan. That doesn't have a whole lot of value to it. It's lazy. And they was used to riding around on their yachts and kicking it around the world and having all this money. They was doing what most people do. Most people, when they get a customer, all they do is milk them. They don't try to turn the customer into a client because they don't do something. They're not innovative enough when they get the customer. They're not thinking ahead of the game. You're supposed to be in the middle of mastermind thinking sessions at least 5 days a week with your staff, just like I am. We have a session every morning at 8 o'clock to think, to come up with ideas. What could we be doing better than what we're currently doing? All right. That is time well spent. All of you artists that want to be millionaires and multimillionaires, and you want to have businesses that actually flourish, then you have to have mastermind sessions and you got to be open. So let's look at what happened. Blockbuster, as you know, first of all, let's look at Blockbuster. Let me share my screen with you and let me show you how Blockbuster ended up. Okay. So let's talk about Blockbuster first. Okay. All right. Now y'all can't even see that. I don't know why I'm tripping. Okay. Why can't I see this on here? Entire screen. All right. Can you guys see this? All right. Can y'all see that? Y'all can't see that, can y'all? That's just me looking at that. It doesn't say shared screen. So hold on a second. Why is that not sharing? Why is that not sharing? All right. I'm going to read a couple of things about Blockbuster. Let me get this off here. Cancel this. All right. Okay. So I'm going to try this again. Okay. Share. Okay. Share screen. Okay. Share screen. Okay. All right. Chrome. Oh, okay. Let's see what it was. All right. Blockbuster. Okay. Here we go. All right. So can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? I can't see it. Y'all can't see that, can y'all? All right. Okay. Y'all can see that now. All right. So here's Blockbuster. It says, why did Blockbuster fail? It said it failed because of too much debt and changes in the industry. It said it had too many stores. Netflix created a better business model. And then Redbox kiosk and the whole digital phenomenon eliminated the need for consumers to go to a separate DVD store. So Blockbuster, what is that saying? Blockbuster eliminated themselves. They took themselves out of the picture. Why? Because they was doing what was real. They was doing the road of least resistance. So broke people, and people whose businesses go out of business, all go down a road of what? Least resistance. They don't go down a road of most resistance. So they make the easy work of doing what everybody else won't do into the hard work of doing what everybody else is doing. Let me tell you something. Making millions is easy. Why? Because we will do what you won't do. All right. If making money for you is hard, it's because you're doing what everybody else is doing. That's why it's so hard. Does it get any simpler than that? You just got to switch lanes and start doing something that everybody else won't do. Now, that doesn't mean that what we're doing over here is hard work, because we do easy work. We make a lot of money. We make it fast. We make it way easier than all of y'all who work jobs. It's hard for y'all. All you got is a job. Matter of fact, it's so hard. That's an impossible plan. You ain't going to never get rich. Your chances of getting rich is zero on a job unless you invest in heavily in some stock and the stock does real good, or unless you're invested in somebody else's company outside of your job and it does real good. But you're only going to get rich two ways. You got a company or you invest in a company. That's it. It ain't nothing else. It ain't no other ways of getting rich. So if you're on a job, that's hard work. So if you can graduate, that's the crowd. The crowd does that. The crowd does the job thing. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? They try the job thing. It's hard. It's just hard. It's arduous, okay? Because slavery is hard. Are you digging what I'm saying? Slavery is hard work. Slavery ain't never going to be easy. So Blockbuster, they turned themselves into some slaves. What were they slaves to? They were slaves to their old-fashioned ways. And let's look at it again, okay? Let's go back to it again. So it said, why did they run out of business? It said they had too many stores, all right? So they smug. They don't realize that store stuff is about to go out of business. That stuff is slow. That people ain't finna buy no stuff out. They about to start doing stuff at their crib, but they can't anticipate what's going on because they too smug. They resting on their laurels. It said Netflix created a better business model. Naturally, I'm sitting in the crib watching a movie instead of having to go to the store to get it. Of course, that's a better business model. Ain't no way in the world I'm supposed to be wasting my time driving to a store and all I got to do is click a button. It said, and then Redbox kiosk, that put them out of business for the people that wanted to go get something. Well, at least they ain't got to go in no store. They can just pull up and get it and leave. But our Netflix idea was better than all of that. That's why Netflix is so doggone cold-blooded now. So let's look at Netflix and see what's going on with Netflix. All right. And can you guys see that? Put it in the chat box. Let me make sure y'all can see that. All right. I believe y'all can see this too. All right. So let's look at Netflix. Put it in the chat box. Say, yeah, we can see it, Rick. All right. Let me go back and look at y'all because I can't see y'all. Can y'all see this now? Can y'all see Netflix? Can y'all see what I was doing with Netflix? All right. So I'm going to go back and read this to you. And then I want you guys to see this is how you get really, really paid big time, how you make money going direct opposite from the crowd. Okay. All right. So here we go. So this is the number one thing that Netflix did. They said creating disruption through technology. But listen to this. It said Netflix is making moves throughout the years to expand its audience base at a continual pace. At first, Netflix was just a shipping DVDs through the mail, and later they eliminated the late fees that greatly led to Blockbuster's crush. All right. So that's what put Blockbuster out of business. Netflix just eliminated that. They eliminated late fees. So just think about that. I just want that. I want y'all to understand how money is real made, how real money is made. Proverbs 21:5 says that the thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness, but to everybody that is hasty, only to want. So Blockbuster was hasty. In other words, they was thirsty. In other words, the way they made their money was milking people. Netflix said, you know what, let's do the exact opposite. Let's not charge any late fees. Are you listening to the difference between that kind of mindset? That's an abundant mindset. They said if we don't charge any late fees, then we will endear the customer instead of milk the customer. See, a lot of people, they so frantic over money until they covet money so much until they use the people. They love the money and they use the people. But Netflix, they love the people and they use the money. Proof of it is what? They put Blockbuster out of business because they did the opposite. Are you listening to me? Today is get rich. Do the opposite of the crowd. So Netflix is an amazing example of how God will bless you and bless your business when you're not thirsty, all right? And when you're not frantic and when you're not hasty and when you sit down and plan how I'm going to make my customers happy. What do I need to do to make sure that they have the best possible experience with me? What can I do? Well, how can I ease their pain? How can I ease their pain? How can I ease their pain? How can I? Woo! That's the song you ought to be playing at your company. That's the song that ought to be playing on your company's intercom. How can I ease the pain of the doggone customers? The customers are in pain. What can I do to give them comfort so that they turn into a client and not a customer? So that they keep coming back what? On their own, out of their own fruition. In other words, I got to be different from the thirsty crowd of people. Most people are thirsty. The crowd, they chase you down to get you to be a customer. But once they get you, they forget all about you. It happens all the time. Just with me. I'm one of the easiest people in the world to sell something to. And if you got it going on, I will come back to you. I'll just sign up so you can just take it out of my account every month, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I cancel subscriptions and stuff, all the time. Why? Because the person get me and then they act like I don't exist no more. Or they get you and then they ain't got, the only thing they send you is some more solicitations, but they don't send you anything that strengthens the relationship after they get you. It's just like you meet a beautiful woman and you tell her, a girlfriend, you look like the first day of a beautiful spring. You look like you're just like a star. I keep shooting for you, even though I know I never reach. If you was a pancake, I wouldn't need no syrup. You dig? And then she mess around and let you get close to her. All of a sudden, you can't remember her name. She texting your phone and stuff. You like, what's up, baby? Why? Because you got what you wanted. So when you get something from somebody, if you live like that in real life, and then you start a business, that's a recipe for disaster. Because you'll take that same old country bunking nonsense over to being a businessman, so-called businessman, so-called businesswoman, when you're really just a selfish person. And it'll show up in the company meetings. It'll show up in the interactions when you all sit down and talk. You'll even sit up and come with ideas about how to squeeze somebody out of something and how to play people. All right? Blockbuster game plan wasn't no good. That's why when they came in and said, we're going to cut out the late fees, Blockbuster wasn't trying to hear that. They was like, man, please, all that money, we ain't about to cut all that money out. They wanted to keep doing the same thing. But Netflix said, we're going to do the exact opposite of what Blockbuster did. So that was the first thing they did. They cut out those late fees and they started, so they created disruption because of the technology that they had. It was much better than Blockbuster stuff. Just sit at the crib and watch TV. Number 2, flexibility. It said the biggest advantage Netflix is giving to its customers that they can watch any content with convenience. They can watch content on demand and on screen and on any screen they want. Netflix is making sure to give smooth experiences with personalized taste. So what is that saying? That's saying that when they having meetings, they're talking about how can we make it easy for the customer? How can we make it more convenient for the customer? What can we do to maintain the customers that we have? They're not having meetings about how do we go out and get new customers. They having meetings about how do we maintain the customers that we have? How can we make sure that their experience is an experience that's really beautiful? And then what happens? Exponentially, everything grows. So Netflix, they operate like this. Okay. See, most people operate like this. Now, if you guys look at my training right here, how to build a financial empire, it's right here on YouTube. Just look up the video, how to build a financial empire. You'll see how I'm explaining how we build up empires. Most people operate like this. That means that they let anybody in, and when they let them in, they just do whatever they can to go get somebody else. So that's level across the top, meaning you got a lot of relationships all over the place, and that's why your life's so helter skelter and so howdy doody. All right, but that's not how wealthy people who sustain businesses operate. The way that we operate is we operate like this. In other words, when you come in, we pay close attention to you as an individual. We pay close attention to your business, close attention to your family, close attention to what's going on with you. We give you a tremendous amount of, we pay like concentrated, relentless attention to what makes you tick. We learn everything about you. I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes how Netflix get down. It's a business model that all of us should follow. All right. So then we spread that down, and as it gets bigger, it's still the same culture that's up here is down here. So now that's extremely sustainable, manageable, and that's a dominating culture because everybody down here is behaving like everybody up here because the care and the concern, it trickles down to everybody because we're not frantic. So it's just like when I do my IQ challenges and stuff, and people come in and they see what my fees are to get in. They see it ain't no few little dollars. You know, why do I do that? I do that on purpose so that the people that come in right here, they are all extremely committed. Why? Because they paid enough money to prove that they committed. And then I pay them a lot of attention. I have a documentary I'm doing right now and where I literally fly around the country to all my personal trust clients, and we sit down and have dinner and argue about who's going to pay the bill because, you know, whoever paid the bill will get back 4 times what they paid. So that's how our trust operate, right? So you say, Ricky, you don't have to do all that. No, you don't. But if you put your concentration on taking care of the people that you have, then other people will just come in exponentially, but they'll come in with the same attitude and same disposition that all of you all have. So you won't have a whole lot of what the Bible calls schism in the body. In other words, chaos and duplicity and people coming in who don't understand what a covenant is like. You see, this is covenant living. Covenant living is different from contract living. This is contract living. Contract living means I let everybody that possibly wants to get into my inner circle in. Why? Because I just love money. So I love the money and I use the people. This is the way contract living is. When you love money, you use people because that's what your mind is on. So what is that? When you sign a contract, it just means you can't get me, I can't get you. So we signed it. So we got some legal proof that we signed something. But it ain't no love in that. All right. It ain't no appreciation in that. It ain't no adoration in that. It ain't no affection in that. It ain't no juice in that. It ain't no anointing in that. God ain't blessing that crap. So what does God bless? God blesses covenants. And what's the difference between a contract and a covenant? A covenant means that you and I have an agreement. You know, the only thing that's going to break the agreement is one of us got to die. The only thing that can cut us off is blood, because covenant means to cut. All right. So what does it cut? It cuts off all other possibilities of how we're going to treat each other. We're going to treat each other right, and that's it. Ain't no 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ways of doing nothing. So the focus is singular. So the power is intense. Are you listening to me? The way to get rich is to have intense concentration and focus on the people that come into your business, who come into your company, and give them the utmost of treatment and figure out what makes them tick and then deliver. Are you seeing how Netflix is getting down? Check out Netflix. Check out how they get down. It said they flexible. When they come in, they figure out what's going on with the person. They're able to move on the fly. They're able to adjust. Why? Because they ain't got them tight butt cheeks. That's why. You ain't flexible when you got that Pharisee spirit. Why you think they call them Pharisees? Because they wasn't fair. You see, when you got that Sadducee spirit, why you think they call them Sadducees? Because they sad. You see, they're not flexible at all. They're extremely inflexible. They stuck like Chuck in their ways, just like Blockbuster was. And then you see that they can't put cheese on a Whopper. Why? Because they're not flexible enough. They're not even concerned about what's going on with the person. Let me give you another example of what I'm talking about. Y'all remember when the Pharisees came to church? Jesus was having church early in the morning. That's right. He teaching Sunday school. And the Pharisees came in with a young lady and they said, hey, Jesus. He like, what's up? They said, we got a fresh hoe right here. Huh! And slung her in the middle of Sunday school. They said, we caught this. I can't tell you what they probably called her. We caught this ungodly young lady. I guess I'll put it that way. They basically called her a hoe. We caught this hoe right in the middle of horn. All right. We got some fresh rocks in our pocket and we ready to crack her head down to the white meat. So you down with that, Jesus? So Jesus, like, writing in the sand. He ain't even looking at him, right? He just writing in the sand, writing in the sand. He don't even look up. He said, man, the first one of y'all who ain't got no sin in your life, cast the first stone. He ain't even bother to look up at these marks. Why? Because they Pharisees who ain't Pharisee, and they Sadducees who Sadducee. He don't even waste his time with these kind of marks. So he wouldn't even look up. He said, whoever ain't got no sin in your life, just throw the first stone while he writing on the ground. So you know they all got all kind of sin. They all devils because they just self-righteous church going devils. Just because you take your body to a church don't mean you're a devil, just mean you're a devil in church. So they already act a fool, ain't got good sense, and they self-righteous and they want to kill somebody and they want to hurt somebody and maim somebody because they're evil. So they all got up and left. Then he looked at the woman. He said, where your accusers go? She said, I don't see none of them. He said, well, I don't find no fault with either. He said, just go and don't sin no more, baby. Just get up out the hoeing game. Now, they didn't bring the mark who she was hoeing with. Why? Because that's the way self-righteous people are. They got selective memories, okay? Their judgment is skewed. You dig what I'm saying? Anytime you all up in my Kool-Aid all the time and don't know the flavor, I know your Kool-Aid is jacked up because that's people's human nature. That's the problem with running your business desperately, just letting anybody all up in your business and stuff like that, when you ought to be selective about who comes in and treat them like Fort Knox gold. Go out of your way to find out how to treat the person, treat them extremely good, and then you will turn a customer into a client. And you won't be living this hard life that you're living. You got one customer, and then you run around the whole world trying to get another one because you ain't paying attention to the one that you got. Don't do that. That's what the crowd does. The crowd ain't rich. The crowd is suffering. Even the people that call themselves got a business. Even people call themselves entrepreneurs. I'm like, the way your culture, with the way y'all behave, it's amazing. You don't just drop dead from high blood pressure because you're having a problem making sales. You're having a problem maintaining clients. You're having a problem building up momentum because you ain't paying no attention to the people that you got. They're not important to you. Money is important to you. So because money is important to you, when you get a customer, you just run trying to get another customer, and the last customer can't get no love. They just standing right here. Don't you know what my main man, Luther Vandross said when he remade the cut? I think it was a remake. He said, there's a rose and a fist in love, and the eagle flies with the dove. He said, and if you can't be with the one you love, he said, go ahead, it's all right. Go ahead and love the one, love the one, love the one you with. Hey, listen, love the customer you already with before you run out trying to look at some more customers. You say, Ricky, that's a tough thing to do. What if I starve while I'm just concentrating on this one customer? That's why y'all can't even stay married. You're like, man, what if I starve if I stay with this one woman? What you mean starve if you stay with the one woman? Man, I need to do a little overtime. All these cuties out there, bro, Rick. You know what I'm saying, man? Player. Listen, knucklehead. You ain't no player. You're a whoremonger. All right? That's a word you made up. The Bible called you a whoremonger. So instead of you trying to be a player with 8 women, why don't you just find 8 ways to love one woman? All right? Why don't you try that on? Why don't you try that hat on for size? Then you'll find out it's so much stuff about her you don't even know because you ain't never investigated it. How about you, my sisters? How about you treat a man like that? Why don't you find 8 ways to love him today? Why don't you delve all into him and find out what he all made out of and be his number one cheerleader? How about that? How about y'all focus y'all attention on each other instead of outside one another and living such duplistic, jacked up, fake, halfway fake, unauthorized, unintense, little poo butt lives. Okay, why in the world waste your time like that? See, when you live like that, and then you go into business, you just do the same stuff. I can look at people and see that the way that they run their business It's just an extension of how they live. I'm like, you ain't got no intense love for your loved one. So when a person becomes a client of yours, they become an afterthought. All right. In fact, they become an agitation. They just become a flea. It's like they don't even exist. They become invisible after they become your customer. That's what happened with Blockbuster. That's what the crowd does. Get rich. Go the opposite of the crowd. Serve and serve and serve some more. And watch what God does with your mind. He say, what? You mean to tell me that your aim, your purpose, what you're trying to get accomplished is to give the customer the best experience they can possibly get? That's what you're after? So what happens? You start coming up with amazing innovations. Watch what happens with Blockbuster right here. All right. It said with Netflix rather, says variety of options. Subscribers of Netflix are given options to have a range of movies, TV series, and documentaries by distribution partners. This opens new options on a regular basis, attracting millions of customers. Let me read it again. Subscribers of Netflix are given options to have a range of movies, TV series, and documentaries by distribution partners. So people come and bring Netflix their ideas. Netflix say, yeah, you can roll with that. Yeah, you can roll with that. Yeah, you can roll with that, because they can't make up with so much stuff. They said this opens new options on a regular basis, attracting millions of customers. So what does that mean? What's that saying is that Netflix has an amazing inclusivity. In other words, they include other people smarter than them, quicker than them. They partner with folks just like he was trying to partner with Blockbusters when he came in. So he got enough sense to know, look, I'm not going to make the same mistake Blockbuster made when I came to them, Mr. Hastings, when I came to Blockbusters and they threw me out on my head, and now Netflix worth over $3 billion and Blockbusters is just an afterthought. He said, I ain't going to be dumb like that. He said, the same culture I have when I came to them is that I just wanted to be their partner. He said, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let people partner with us. All right. I'm going to let them distribute their movies, their documentaries and all of that. Bring them to me. We're going to check them out. If they add up to our company's culture, we're going to play it. Now we got a whole department of content being made that we didn't even create. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Some of you all would make so much more money if you would just go the opposite of the crowd and stop trying to do stuff all by yourself. That's what the crowd does. That's why the crowd broke as hell. The crowd ain't got no money because the crowd ain't got no innovation. Why? Because they the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. They think they know it all. So when it comes time to get some help and to get somebody who's better than them doing something, then they don't understand, they ain't ready for that jelly. Listen to me. You need somebody in your company doing things with you and for you who are better than you. And you should wake up looking for somebody better than you. You want to get rich? Do the opposite of the crowd. Get rich and go the opposite direction of the crowd. What's that? When you wake up in the morning and say, the way I'm going to run my company, the way I'm going to run my business is going to be inclusivity. I'm going to include some people who just way colder than I am at these particular areas. I'm just going to partner with them, let them come in, and we just going to chop the paper up. All right? I ain't going to be tripping. It's some money I never had. Why in the world would I be sitting around mad about some upset about some money that I've never had? In other words, why would I be so stingy as to sit around crying the blues over some money that has not even been created? Because you can never get time back. So every day of your life should be collaborations. You should be looking for partners every day. Say, look, I just saw you doing that. That's amazing. Hey, why don't you come over here? Can we have a meeting? All right, I'll tell you what. I was just thinking, just for your consideration, how about you do this part of what's going on over here? We're going to reward you handsomely. Like us, we have trust agents that operate, that help sell our trust and stuff. I'm like, what are you doing? I say, what you do for a living? I sell this, I sell that. I say, would you like to sell some trust that only 1% of the world even have? They're like, I'm listening, Brother Rick. I said, okay, so let me explain to you what's going on. And then if you decide you want to come along, great. And then we give out no less than $13,000 for every trust agent when they sell a trust. No, that's the least amount of money you can make. So that means you can make, you sell 10 trusts a month, you can make $130,000 a month with us. You can make $1 million just selling trust. All right. So, and nobody hardly knows how to do what we're doing, because I don't do what everybody else knows how to do, because I go the opposite of the crowd. So when you meet somebody and they say, hey, Rick, what do you do again? I say, I create tax-free, irrevocable, unincorporated, tax-producing trusts. Total privacy, like my book says, control everything, own nothing, total privacy. And, the way that we work, every time we spend $1, we get back $4. If you're interested in that, you let me know. So they can't walk down the street and say, hey, Rick, I was just down the street talking to Mr. Jones. You know what Mr. Jones does? I say, what's that? He creates tax-free, irrevocable, tax credit producing trust, just like you. Okay, because he's lying. I'm like, Mr. Jones don't know nothing about this. So that's why I don't have long, drawn-out conversations with a person trying to convince them to do business with me, because they're going to make more money with me pretty much than they made in their life out of anything that they put money into, that like a normal investment, because we don't even invest money. We just spend it and get paid for spending it. So what's my point? My point is that do something that's unique. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Why? Because you're going to be like them busters. Who? Blockbuster. You're going to be out of business doing what everybody else is doing. You ain't got time for that. And you're a king and you're a queen. It's not supposed to take all night and all day to make no money. You're supposed to make some money in a few hours in a day and then enjoy the rest of your day. You said, no, you ain't, Ricky. You got to grind. Says who? Of course, you got that from somebody broke or somebody that might have a little money who ain't got no life. Listen, I got money and a life. I don't know about you, but I'm not living like that. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? What's the point of having some doggone money and you ain't even got no time to spend it? If people said, Ricky, what would you do different if you, if you had a chance to, do something over again? Man, I would have started making this big money a lot faster. I would have, what I would have did is I would have hired somebody making way more money than me. And then I would have learned what they was talking about. And then I would have did it a lot faster. I wouldn't have been in no more regular classes with cats who don't know how to earn at least $1 million in a year, because I can't learn nothing from nobody who don't at least know how to create $1 million in a year. And the way our programs work is that we can teach you how to create $1 million in a day. All right. Okay. We can teach you how to have $1 million a day. So what's my point though? My point is that when people come into your culture, make sure that you treat that person, make sure that you're flexible enough to be able to partner with people and make your life's pursuit to wake up in the morning and say, what's the next partnership I can engage in? Who can I get together with? And we both blow it up. Why? Because Deuteronomy 32:30 says that 1,000, one will put 1,000 a flight, but two will put 10,000 a flight. So if I'm worth $10,000 by myself, I get together with you, we worth 100 grand. All right. If we worth 100 grand by yourself, you get together with me. Now we worth $1 million. You worth $1 million by yourself. Me and you get together, we worth 10 million. I'm worth 10 million by myself. Me and you get together. Now we worth 100 million. Why in the world wouldn't I want to split 100 million? Why would I want to have all of 10 million when I can split 100 million with you? That's the way Blockbuster thinks. I mean, that's the way Netflix thinks. Blockbuster didn't think like that. That's why Blockbuster is out of business, and that's why Netflix is killing it. They say, hey, partnerships. They do the opposite of what everybody else does. Apple did the same thing. In 2008, Apple said, man, create us a app, and we'll let you in, okay? We'll give you 70% of the money. We'll just take 30%. Apple, what? The first company to ever clear $1 trillion market cap. Why? Because of inclusivity. What's your business culture? Is it inclusive? All right, let's move on, because we got four more strategies to go over. All right. So a variety of options. Strategy of original content. As per the source of variety, Netflix is planned to spend around $15 billion on the content in 2019, under which around 85% of new spending is reserved for original content. And this shows the amount of over $12 billion. It is obvious that the investment is more than any other of its competitors like Amazon, Hulu, or HBO. This is the reason that Netflix is topping in the customer satisfaction surveys. How satisfied are your clients? Okay. How satisfied are your clients? Do you even have a survey? Just think about that. How do you know how satisfied your clients are and you don't even have a survey? I'm talking about do the opposite of everybody else. You know why most people won't send a survey out? Because they're afraid somebody might tell them something that they're doing wrong. Don't you know you need to know what you're doing wrong? I'm telling you how to get rich. Get rich! Do the opposite of the crowd. People don't like being evaluated, all right? In my amazing book that I keep telling y'all to go buy, and I'm going to show it to you again, because this is one of the reasons why we make so much money, all right? This book It's called Black's Law Dictionary, the 11th edition. All right, Black's Law Dictionary, the 11th edition. And this book has so many terms in it to teach you how to make sure that people, that you are like operating at an optimum level. And one way of operating at an optimum level is to make sure that you can see yourself outside of how you see yourself. So there's a term in here called audit risk. What is audit risk? That's the risk that you take when the only audit that you have is an internal audit. In other words, the only person checking you out is somebody in your company. But if you get a third party independent person to survey or to audit your company or audit your business, now you have an opportunity to get rich, because now you can see what you couldn't possibly see from the inside. Don't you want to see your business from every angle that'll help make you money? So you can't be a person that get easily offended. Most people don't even send out a survey because they don't even care. They don't care what the person thinks. So when we send out surveys and ask questions for our clients and all that sort of thing, get testimonials, sometimes they tell us that's messed up. You need to change that. Or my opinion of that is that that's too slow. Most people can't take that. Most people ain't ready for that. Why? Butt cheeks too doggone tight. Why? Too doggone stiff. Like the Tin Man. Oz never did give nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't already have. The Tin Man was stiff as hell. All right. Had to put some oil on him. Had to put some more oil on him. Why? Because he was stiff. Are you stiff? The crowd is stiff. You can't tell a crowd nothing. As soon as you tell the crowd how to adjust and be flexible, they start fighting you. People will fight you like the dickens to stay in the same condition they already in. How much sense do it make for you to be in a condition that's bad and then fight for it? Let me tell you something about God. If you get in a tug of war with God over your will, you're going to win. As strong as God is, as mighty as God is, as large and huge and massive as God is, it's one thing he can't do. He can't go against your will. He don't have the power to go against your will because he can't lie. And he said, behold, I stand at the door and I knock. And if any man will let me in, I'll come in and sup with him and him with me. He said, I can't never kick the door down because this has to be a volunteer thing. God's like, I can't get no glory out your life if all you doing is you doing it because I'm making you do it. Then he's like, I can't get no glory out of that. He says, so what I do is I just got a volunteer army. That's the way you got to do it. If you're going to be good in business, you got to volunteer for people to tell you what's wrong with you. You have to volunteer for it. Netflix is. They say, man, we got surveys and we want to make sure that we got great customer what? Satisfaction. I can't get no, this is the way some people, customers feel. Satisfaction. I can't get no doggone satisfaction. That's the way some people, customers feel. Why? Because if the company has a problem, they don't want to know. How about you? Are you that way? If you got a problem, are you so defensive until you don't even want people to know? I'm talking about you as a person, as an individual. Because if you do, that's the way you do business. If you do, that's the way you run your marriage. If you do, that's the way you run your house. If you do, that's how you run your ministries. If you do, that means that can't nobody say nothing to you outside of what you want to hear, have a dissenting view, because you take it personal as some type of attack. But it ain't an attack. It's just that you got a big, crazy booger in your nose you can't see. All right? You said, Rick, that's really gross. Yeah, I'm talking about you. So get the booger out your nose and you can get over the joke. All right? My point is what? My point is that you're not going to get rich. You're not going to get rich with that attitude. Humble people get rich. Arrogant folks, they lose their companies. They go by the wayside. This is what the Bible says. The Bible says that pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit right before a fall. But before honor is humility. What? Enough humility to say, you know what? I don't have it all together. So check me out and give me an external audit. Because this internal audit is me seeing myself the way I see myself. But an external audit is me having some real eyes on me so I can see myself realistically. Because I don't see myself realistically because I can only see myself from inside myself. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? That's how you run businesses. That's how you run companies. That's how you run your life. That's how you get rich. That's how you get wealthy. That's how you become immensely successful. Why? Because you're willing to take a doggone audit. Let's go on to the next thing. One of the next key factors. How to be different from the crowd. and get rich. All right. So strategy of original content. Ad-free content. He said it's obvious that people get irritated with ads coming in between their favorite program time. It is the reason ad blocking software is getting more popular than ever. This is what Netflix understands and offers ad-free content. This prevents users from annoying and irrelevant ads, making sure to give ad-free experience to all its customers. Here is Netflix again, okay? So they said, we turning down that little ad money. All right. See, most of y'all can't do it. Most of y'all can't do it. I'm telling you, it'd be the opposite from the crowd. See, when you sold out for money, you don't get no money. In other words, it's your money that separates you from your money. Are you listening to me? It's just like when you're paying for stuff. People say how much your stuff costs to get involved with you, Ricky. I say it don't cost nothing to get involved with me. You pay some money, but you get back 4 times the money you paid because you pay your money back through the trust. I teach people to borrow money to get involved with me and then pay the money back out they trust. In other words, pay yourself for getting involved with me. All right. If it costs you 50 grand to get involved with me and you pay it back out your trust, you'll pay yourself $200,000 to learn what I teach. All right. So I don't cost nobody nothing to get down with me because the way that I operate is I operate out of unincorporated trust. But I also have a mindset that when I pay for stuff, it didn't cost me nothing because whatever I paid is just what I paid. What it cost me is what it would have cost me if I hadn't paid it. In other words, if it cost me $100, but it paid me $1,000, then if I don't pay this 100, I'm gonna lose out on 1,000. So if I don't pay this 100, I'm gonna lose $900. That's what it costs. But most of y'all ain't been taught what cost is. I told you I'm gonna teach y'all that every day. If you ever tune in, you're gonna get a little lesson on cost because that's one of the reasons why you're poor or don't have the money you're supposed to have because you're cheap. Netflix ain't cheap. Netflix turn down money. You ain't making no money until you turn down money. Be the opposite from the crowd. Are you listening to me? The way I talk to people, I get rid of bums. Okay? They get mad. They don't like it. They say, Ricky, did you just call me a bum? I said, if that fits you, yeah. My mother was like that. If you was a person that really took care of your business, man, she praised you to the highest heavens. But if you was a bum, she called you a bum. That's where I got it from, you dig? And I ain't apologizing. Why? Because I don't want to be around no bums. So the only person that get offended is a bum. They say if you take a stick and you throw it into a pack of dogs, the only one that's going to scream is the one they hit. Why? Because the stick hit them. You dig what I'm saying? So don't be a person that's in a pack of dogs and get hit with a stick. Be a person that volunteers to get whooped. Ask people to whoop you. Say, what's wrong with me? How do you ask somebody this week? Say, how do you view the way I'm doing business? Ask somebody this week, how am I coming across? All right. Ask somebody this week, hey, what can you see in me that I might be able to do better? Woo! Just asking y'all them questions got y'all sweating like a murder suspect. You're like, man, ain't no way in the world I'm going to open myself up to nobody like that because people so doggone negative. They're going to say this, they're going to say that. That could be true. But so what? Because just because a person tell you what they think, it don't mean that it's necessarily so. And your self-esteem ain't so bad you can't take a dissenting view. All right? Don't take it personal. Be like, you listen, you can get rich, okay? Or you can just feel good about yourself. All right? Look, I don't want to look rich. I want to be rich. I don't want to look like everything's okay. I want everything to be okay. I don't want to look like I got some substance. I want to have some substance. So in order for you to have that, Netflix got money for real. All right. The reason they got money for real is because they turn down money. I turn down money all the time. You say, how do you do that, Rick? Because I'm so point blank with folks until when they on some BS, they get mad at me before the thing gets started. And I'm like, good. I said it on purpose to get rid of your behind because I ain't finna lose no sleep over you. I'm peeping your stilo right now. Sitting here flossing, peeping your stilo. Peeping your stilo. You dig? I see how you roll, okay? I can see you nickel slick and that you're going to be trying to get down. So that's why I asked you a few questions. Let me tell you how to get rid of the bums in your life. Ask them a few questions, all right? I went out on a date with this chick. She had some red hair and some blue earrings and some blue fingernails. I should have known better, all right? What the heck? I hadn't been on a date in a while. You know, I was trying to see if I still had it, you dig? So we she met me at a hotel, not to get down. Met me at a hotel to go swimming, all right? So I'm in the pool swimming. And she comes in, you know, I'm sitting at the hot tub. So she comes over to the hot tub, right? Got the red hair and the blue fingernails. I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm thinking about. I know this ain't going nowhere. She's scaring me already. I'm like, is it Halloween? What month we in? So we came over, we sat down, and we started talking. So I say, hey, baby, I asked a question. She said, I asked another question. Okay. I asked about 3 questions. She said, hey, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Let me get this straight now. Let's get this right. Let's get this right. I said, what's that? She said, I'll be liking a whole lot of questions. I'm like, well, I'm Perry Mason and Johnny Cochran up in this piece. All right. Okay. Like a whole, can't nobody ask you no question. Get to stepping. Okay. Get in the wind. All right. Enjoy the rest of your life. Not cut that stuff off before it started. The questions pissed off. That's good, because inquiry is how you find out where you're going. Why in the world you out on a date with somebody? This is a problem with some of y'all right now. Why your relationship's so jacked up? You went on a date, just looked at somebody. Man, you like, you fine as frog. Hey, I'm gonna break you off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Y'all ain't had no kind of conversation. If you just had a conversation, you would have found out that y'all different as night is from day. If you had a conversation, you would have found out that y'all don't even like the same stuff. If you had a conversation, you would have found out that y'all don't even like each other. And now you're in the middle of this mess and found out you don't like each other. You could have found that out at the beginning of the conversation with a couple of questions. Anybody that's offended by a couple of little basic questions ain't worth the salt on their back. Don't you waste your time. I don't care if they booty so big they can balance the national budget. Don't make no doggone sense. And I like big butts and I cannot lie. But so what? Don't go out like that. All right, be a man about yours. Be a woman about yours. Okay, be a king about yours. Be a queen about yours. Don't be selling out. See, Netflix don't sell out. They turn money down. So you got to learn how to turn money down if you're going to have money, because money ain't nothing. I mean, money comes. It comes to us in groves. Why? Because we turn down little money for big money. Are you digging what I'm saying? And that's the way Netflix get out. They turn down little money for big money. They don't even take ads. I'm showing y'all how to be the opposite today. Get rich. Just do the opposite of what everybody else does. Number 6, enhance user experience. Netflix does all research to come up with the best user experience. The foremost aspect is its customer created preview videos. This preview plays on scrolling through a title card. It also allows download and go feature enabling using users to watch shows offline. It also facilitates to share your Netflix account and gives 30 days free subscription. Man, this is how you run a business, y'all. I hope y'all listening. It said Netflix does all research to come up with the best user experience. How much of your business and your life is involved in research? Are you listening to me? Research of who? The customers you already got. I told y'all that's what a person's problem is. They get a customer and they run off looking for another customer. I'm like, what do your customers like? What do your customers want? What do your customers appreciate? What floats your customers' boats? What can help your customers to spend some more money? Shucks, what can make sure that your customers just keep coming back? Why ain't your customer the number one focus of your company? Excuse me. Not the customers you don't have, the customers you already have. All right? Why don't you do some research on that? Why don't you spend some money on that? You like, Rick, I'm just trying to survive. Are you listening to anything I'm saying? Don't you understand why you broke? Don't you understand why that business ain't rolling? Don't you understand why you ain't got the amount of money you're supposed to have? You're violating too many doggone principles. The Bible says charity, it starts at home and then it spreads abroad. Your customers is your home base. So what you do, you treat them like Fort Knox Gold. But how can you treat a person like Fort Knox Gold unless you figure out what they want? You should let them tell you what's wrong with you, and then you should figure out what's going on with them and make that your life's duty. Research. Spend some doggone money on research on what make your customers, what floats they boat, and they will tell you. Man, when you ask customers, and you want to ask your person, hey man, what else can we do for you? You already asked them, say, what's wrong with us? They'll tell you that. You say, okay, I appreciate that. Now, what else can we do for you? What else can we do for you? Hey, what else can we do for you? Hey, what else can we do for you? Anything else we can do for you? Do you know that the majority of your business will be based on the customer told you what he wanted? You heard what the OJ said. They say, got to give the people, give it up. Give the people what they want. Give the people what they want. All right? How you going to know what they want if you don't ask them no? So that's what good customer service is. That's what makes you different from the crowd. Most people are afraid to ask the customer for what they want. Why? Because they're afraid he'll tell them. And then now they got to work. Why in the world do you have a business and you don't want to work? It's just like being a waitress at a doggone restaurant or waiter at a restaurant and you don't like people. Why in the world would you take that job? Hey, good afternoon. How can I help you? Help. Help. HEP. What happened to the L, player? How can I help you? You country as hell. Can't you at least say a word right? And then forget everything you said. Why? Because they don't want to be there. So when they come back, they half filled your order and all y'all. All y'all done had all of y'all done had a waitress or a waiter from hell. But we had a waitress when we was down in Louisiana one time in New Orleans, and she was a little fine little Creole chick. She must have been. They do a lot of witchcraft down there. I think she was doing some witchcraft or something. Mean as hell. Now she was fine, cute, to look at. Some fine chicks down in Louisiana got that pretty skin and stuff. But that chick was the wicked witch of the west, the north, the south, and the east. Mean as hell. I couldn't understand why she was doing the job she was doing. The way she was looking at us looked like if she had a voodoo doll, she would stab us. Or if she had a pistol, she'd shoot us. Or if she had a knife, she'd chop our head off. And how you gonna get a tip? So when she came back by, they said, "What we gonna tip her, Rick?" I said, "Give her a tip with an R." They said, "What's that?" I said, "Trip a little knuckle." When she come back by, trip her when she come. That was a joke, y'all. Wasn't nobody gonna hurt nobody for real. But that's the way it made you feel. Made you feel like tripping her because she was tripping the whole time she was serving us. Because you got to treat the customer like they Fort Knox Gold. Find out what they want. Inquire. Research. Spend some doggone money. All right, and spend some doggone time. All right, here's the last one for you to become a multimillionaire. All right, and go against the crowd. Number 7, personalized experience through Netflix recommendation engine. Netflix knows what we watch on this platform every day. It knows when we watch and how many episodes we have watched of certain programs. This is how their machine learning works. Lord have mercy. Machine learning? It said Netflix officially uses machine learning in order to help their algorithms learn. This machine learning enables the platform to automate millions of decisions as per the user activities. So this is where I want to drop you off at today. All right. I hope you enjoyed this lift ride today because this is going to lift you up to some millions. I hope you enjoyed this lift ride today. Netflix got enough nerve to know, look, we got machines that keep up with the algorithms of who's watching our stuff and who ain't. Don't you know if you're going to have a business today that you're going to have enough technology to be following up for you in your sleep? Don't you understand that? Country folk, they still following up like the Flintstones. Hey, man, did you follow up on everybody today? Yeah, I called 6 people. No! I mean, that's cool, too. You need to call people. I'm talking about, are they getting any automated emails? All right. Do you have anything that even gives you data on what's going on with these people? Huh? Do you know that? And then do you have some machines working for you? Are you kidding me? With all this technology out here and you ain't got no machines working for you? Are you playing games like that? You don't have a machine working for you and they think a million times. They do work and data and all that sort of thing a million times faster than us. Are you kidding me? You press one button and you're in front of the whole world in a second. You press another button, you're in front of the rest of the world. And you ain't doing that? You ain't got one. You don't even use text messages to reach your people and say good morning. Are you kidding me? You don't even nobody's getting an email from you. Let me tell you something. Y'all want to get rich? Everybody's soliciting you. Everybody's sending an email to you. You get 15, 20 of them as soon as you wake up. Why ain't you sending none? Matter of fact, why ain't you got no system that just sends it out for you by itself? I mean, just some basic stuff to get rich. Go the opposite from the crowd. You say, Ricky, everybody's sending out emails. No, they ain't. 1% of the world is sending people out emails and sending people out text messages. 99% of y'all are consumers. Y'all ain't producing nothing. You ain't producing no content. All right. You just receiving stuff from other people. And you perceive that everybody's doing it. No, and everybody ain't getting this money. We work on the easy money side. Y'all work on the hard money side. Are you listening to me? Y'all the ones doing hard work. Where all the money you made today was the money you made today. That's hard as hell. All right. That's hard work. All right. The only way you're going to break up out of that is that you're going to have to learn how to get a soft head. Just don't be hard headed because hard heads produce hard work. The crowd, they ain't going nowhere. They can't bust a grape in a tractor, can't put cheese on a Whopper, be the opposite of the crowd and watch God bless your life and bless your life and bless your life. Come on. I'm going to pray for you that you'll become the opposite. I'm going to pray for you that starting today, you'll have an attitude like, you know what? I'm not going to be the person that I'm not going to be like everybody around me no more. I'm going to find out how to matriculate, how to make this stuff happen. Reread rewatch this video, send it to your friends, like it, subscribe to my channel right here. Tell your friends to come and get educated at Rick the Wealth Coach's YouTube channel. He will teach you a whole lot, and you don't even have to pay no money for it. You ain't even got to be in his classes. He's just a teacher. All right, I'm a teacher. I've been teaching money for over 40 years. All right, so learn, and get paid. All right, I want to see y'all get rich. You ain't got to be in none of my classes. You do not have to do that. You do not. If you decide you want to come to my challenge, beautiful. If you decide you want to get my book, beautiful. If you decide you want to do any of those things, beautiful. But I'm going to teach the next time we're on here, I'm going to teach y'all infinite banking. I'm going to show y'all that my bank is the bank of Jesus Christ, and that the deposits are so massive and the withdrawals are so amazing because my only customer is Jesus. All right. And when you learn that, you'll never beg nobody for another dollar for the rest of your life. Come on, let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, I thank you for these amazing brothers and sisters, these phenomenal human beings, these amazing businessmen and women. Lord, they got companies that they want to grow. And Lord, they just need to understand the Netflix model of how to grow a company. So I speak into their lives the attitude of inclusivity. I speak into their lives no need to be desperate, no need to be frantic. I speak into their lives the spirit of amazing customer service and amazing innovations, Lord. I speak into their lives the amazing competence, Lord, to be able to accept the flexibility of being able to do business different from the way that the crowd does it. Now, Lord, we know you heard this prayer because it's according to your will, and because you're credit good, we're going to thank you in advance for the amazing advances and the tremendous victory that's already taken place just because we made our mind up. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. God bless all of you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be blessed in the city. Be blessed in the field. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. And remember that stellar is as stellar does. Dominate your day.